since 2010, since Netanyahu came back to power. We certainly see ramping up of racism. We see it from the politicians, from the rabbis, from academics. The spirit of the state becomes more and more racist, and it translates into acts and into discourse, and we see how students respond to polls. Every few years they poll Jewish Israelis. Would you be willing to live in the same building with a Palestinian person or an African person or whatever? Would you be willing to study in a classroom? And the sad, scary part is that every few years when they're polled, the numbers get worse and worse. Fewer and fewer Jewish Israelis are willing to share the same space with non-Jewish people.
In which ways are these extremists, let's say thugs, as you call them, serving the government, and how is the government serving them?
Okay, let's look at the most recent spate of attacks. Okay, the Dawabshe family in the village of Duma beside Nablus. Jewish thugs came in the middle of the night and firebombed their house, killing the baby, mother, father, and badly injuring the brother. Now, it's been 2 months. Where are the murderers? Well, the defense minister of Israel says, we know who did it, but we are not going to charge them. Because, and then he alludes to the fact that he has some secret agents working with these people, and to charge them would mean exposing the secret agent, to protect the identity of the secret agent so that he could still keep gaining more information. So in order to protect his working relationship with terrorists, he's not going to charge terrorists. And, you know, this group, Lehava, the Jewish supremacist thugs I told you about, you know, who their members firebombed the school, for example, and are suspected of firebombing other Palestinian places. So, first of all, for many years, they received government money, okay, through their sister organization, and they continue to do through another sister organization. More than this group, their biggest funder is an American woman by the name of Miriam Falik. So this woman who funds the Jewish supremacist terrorist group Lehava is also the #1 funder of Benjamin Netanyahu's election campaign. Could there be more obvious connections between these terrorists and the government? These Israeli government officials should be persona non grata because of their links to terrorism. They should be treated as such, because Netanyahu calls for vengeance against Palestinian people, and then the next day they burn a Palestinian boy to death. He should be treated as such, as an accomplice to terrorism. In so many cases, there's no person ever brought to justice for all of the fields and all of the mosques and the churches and the other places that are burned and attacked by Jewish supremacist terrorists. There's no incentive, there's no interest to actually bring these perpetrators to justice. It helps the interests of the government, because by terrorizing Palestinian people, eventually enough of them just give up and say, okay, well, maybe I'll find my fate elsewhere. Maybe it's worth it to immigrate to some other part of the world where I have a shot at a normal life. It's not my own land, and I'll have to be an immigrant or a refugee or whatnot. But maybe even being an immigrant or a refugee in some other part of the world is preferable to living under occupation, where there's the constant efforts by government, at least not maybe, if not government-sponsored terrorists, at least government-permitted terrorists to continue to drive me off my land.